Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation. In a world of facades, we peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real ones subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. Case, we break the cage. Dog by dog, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.
Innocent. Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Well, good Monday afternoon, all of you. I hope everyone is doing well today. How are you all in this beautiful nest? I will tell you this morning was quite shocking and revealing, and if you're not used to my 11 a.m.s, welcome to the nest. And, you know, it's interesting to hear what others think in regards to the IDAHO4 case, which that is what we are talking about today. If you have not seen the 2,300 plus forensic ISP with no conclusive results, welcome into the nest as we break them down and take a look at them. But before we do that, let me welcome every single one of you who has taken the time out, whether you're driving home, making dinner, relaxing and rewinding. After a long, hard day, we are going to say hello. Inked Mama Wama. I hope I get that name right. Ink Mawama. Welcome in. Thank goodness for the time switch. Thought I was late. Hi, Phoenix. Where's the live dig? We first went over Jose and the cigarettes. I got to prove something. I think I responded to you, and that was under the Pullman 4. That was the Pullman 4 that we did when the release came out with the documents from Pullman. This was the actual, hold on a minute, let me grab it. This was the actual video on the Pullman 4 on August 16th. I did release on the 15th the body cam video where they go to interrogate / I don't know, arrest him. Don't know if they took him into custody or not, but that was the Pullman 4. That was a year prior on October 21, October 10, 2021. There was an incident in Pullman. How odd, ironic. There was an incident in Pullman where 4 women in a house off campus, some sorority girls, some in the area that were working, were actually broken in by a Jose Cruz and left a knife on the counter, and they did some investigation. So hopefully you were able to prove whatever you needed to prove correct, because there is no conclusive evidence in these reports that were released that is indeed, in fact, Jose Cruz's cigarettes or not. I believe more likely they are not. I believe that Moscow, in my humble opinion, contacted Pullman and asked if they had any open cases or closed cases similar to a break-in attack in their area, and that is where they pulled his name from, got the cigarette butts, tested the butts, got the guy's name. But remember, there are videos and footage and pictures floating out all around social media on David Loach smoking on the back deck with cigarettes. So that is not the only person in this scenario that smokes. But I think they were looking from a scapegoat from day one, in my humble opinion. I believe someone got called, ring, ring, to the U of I, allegedly, and said, hey, we got a problem, and I need you to help fix this. How are we going to fix this problem? Bam. Give up some names that we can throw in this crazy investigation, and throw me one more name that we can pin it on that's factually innocent at this point. If you rewind the tape, go all the way back to the beginning, folks, you just gotta see the sign on the wall. It's there. So without any conclusive data from these reports, it is wild. Absolutely wild. And we'll talk about that a little bit. I left you with the cliffhanger this morning. I'll get to it. Critic Rick, welcome in. I'm going to throw my little image up there on what our today's list and topics are. And where are we at? Busted, real or fake? So Critic Rick, you were here really early. I was so hungry, I put my hand in the candy jar at work. Oops, Reese's peanut butter cups. No one will know it was me. I wore gloves. Ha, 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 ha. You are hilarious. There's the link I gave you, Lisa. Welcome in the house, Caleb. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Eating Halloween clearance aisle cookies. Oh, okay. I had a few little bites today. I am good to go. Les, welcome in. Welcome in. Caleb, Dina, welcome in. Hello, hello. Hello, Lulu Bell. Show is now starting. 5 minutes left. 3 minutes, the countdown. Oh, that is a great question, asking the chat before I popped in. 5 minutes left, and who here believes that only 2 theories about what happened can exist? And obviously, no matter which one it is, it still doesn't explain Brian's decision to take the plea. Well, if you've got death, you can't negotiate with death, okay? But in the justice system, you can. You can actually take a plea deal to get you off the death penalty. A DP is pretty serious. You do not want to be on death row. That is for sure. And just waiting for your day to come. I have many theories, definitely. I have saved some dots from my trick-or-treats. But I'm talking about the two main ones the creators are sharing and showing in True Crime Community. Okay, so the two main ones that you're saying that either it is the cartel or the Aryan Knights, is that the two main ones that you're hearing out on the streets? Because I'm going to show you something to make you rethink this. And I use this file all the time because this is the file. This is the MPD investigation when all this began. Before, ironically, someone says, we need some other options for suspects, please. I'll take, 3 suspects for $500, Alex. Right? You've got to look at the players in this game. Everyone they were investigating was frats or sororities. I don't see anyone else up here that we have been given factual information and witnesses to this atrocity in any documents other than here. And of course, ISP, because it took them all the way to Boise. It didn't take them to Pullman. It didn't take them to Spokane. It didn't take them to a reservation. It took the expert detectives to Boise, Idaho. I'll leave it right there. Dina, welcome in. Welcome in. My neighbor, I think they're neighboring states. Rebecca, welcome in. Amanda, good to see you. Brenda, good to see you. Good to see every single one of you here today. And I know we got off really no icebreaker today. I'll tell you, it has been a wild day. And like I said, if you didn't watch my 11 o'clock, if you don't know what my 11 o'clock is, you might want to just scroll on by it, not watch it. And I did put some two-stepping music. No two-stepping. I put it on hold for right now. This was hilarious when Critic Rex said, this is like, I got to put my wallet away. Oh, that is hilarious. All right. New month, new music. Let's get into it. I hope everyone is having a fantastic, great day. I am trying to catch up on the chat, but let's do this. Let's drop a 1. Let's drop a 1 if you've seen the new video of the grub truck, because we are going to break it down. And I've had some sussy vibes on this video. I've asked around a lot of people, and yeah, I've just been trying to get some feedback on if you guys think that this is real or fake. Drop a 1 if you want to watch it and break it down, and tell me in the chat, real or fake. I know you got my back, Liz. I know y'all do. All right, so leave some DNA on that thumbprint. There's 93 of you in here. It only takes one person to hear the truth. There have been a lot of people that have emailed me, messaged me, and said, I cannot believe what has been coming out. I thought he was guilty. That's because the mainstream media told you he was, with no factual information. No factual information. None. None. Okay, so let me look at the answers that we were getting. Let's see. Spicy Phoenix. No, I'm not too spicy today. I made some killer barbecue meatloaf last night, and I had a little bit for lunch today. I had just like maybe I want to say maybe just about 2 ounces. And I will tell you, whoa, man, that was a mistake. That barbecue hit me wrong. All right, so let's see. Phoenix, we're just blowing up over here. No internet, no biggie. Oh, you guys are hilarious. I knew from the beginning that BK was innocent. I hear you. I hear you, Dina. I miss meatloaf. I don't eat meat anymore. I hear you. You can make it with tofu, or you can do a veggie meatloaf. That works too. Okay, So I think the video is altered. It was finished with smooth filter on edges. If only one knows editing, it can tell the photo is altered. Well, you can put it through AI and kind of, there's some things out there that can detect AI, but I don't think I need AI detection for this one. I don't think so. Let's watch it. And I'm going to point out a few things. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this video, but let's watch it. Here we see them walking away. Jack Decor, they rush in. He rushes off. Okay, so let me show you a few things that I noticed. If anybody has noticed, right? When Kaylee and Maddie walk over, it looks like they're almost translucent. You can see right through them. And when this car pulls off, you can see that this car may have had some alterations to it. If you look at the front of this little vehicle, you can see that the color changes behind the glare. And I think that this car is actually silver, and they're wanting you to think it's dark blue or black. It's really odd. The guy went the wrong way. Well, that's a corner right there, isn't it? I believe that is a corner right there at the end. And he turns into the corner. It looks like he's walking into a building, right? Hoodie guy. But as you can see, when that car takes off, there's a couple of little indicators that it might not be blue. Now, the girls have already left. And the point I'm making right here with this one is Jack Showalter, aka Hoodie Guy, is walking, but this video on the other side does not line up to the actual video where he is leaving from this point on. Now, I can tell you someone has touched up this video from the grub truck. How do I know that? Hayden's face is so clear and not grainy, and some of the other video is grainy. The guy back here is grainy. This, area over here is very grainy and blurred. It looks kind of almost fake. So when you start to look at it, you're like, why is his face so prominent and clear? And other videos are not as clear. Okay? Now, from that change to this change, that is two separate videos. Look at the graininess. Two separate videos. There is no way in Hades that Jack Showalter has walked from the edge of the grub truck to the middle of that street by those buildings in less than a second. Watch how it transitions. Right there, he's right at the end of the grub truck. Now they show him all the way to the end, almost to the end where he turns. Look at that. He walks around the bench. See the overlay? Right here, he's at the front of the grub truck. That's where the window is, right here where Joe Vito is standing. That's the end of the little tiny before the end of the grub truck, because the window is right here on the left. Okay, now watch how it transitions. He's already past the front of the truck, which is, if you're walking that way, it's the front. And look at where he is now. Whoever has overlaid this has done a bad job. And the timestamp, obviously the timestamp's a little suspicious. And the food truck does look a little fake. It looks like a little blurry, grainy, some type of blue effect perhaps to make that car look dark. What's wrong with the tire on the front of the truck? See, that's where I said it looks translucent. In the middle of the street, you're going to notice all this area right here looks translucent because it looks like they have some overlay to make the car look darker. But as the car is driving forward in the light, you'll see what they have missed making it dark, and it actually shows perhaps the true color of the video and of the car. Watch. I'll play it and watch the car pull off. This guy doesn't even say, hey, girls, Are you going to get home safe? I'll see you later. Nothing. And then you see the car take off. Right here on the top of the car, can you see the two-tone color change? Remember, she had it sent to her in pieces and had to reconstruct it. Who is she? Who is she? AT told the prosecutor, cut up the video and audio. I don't remember that. AT told us the prosecutor cut up the video and audio. Yeah, this might be a Temu video for us, guys. But look at the front of the car. It's two-tone colors. As it drives off, it looks a different color right there, right here in the front tire. Yep, it looks fake to me. So let's do a community poll here. As the car pulls off, you can see the color change too, and some overlay on that car to make it look dark. So why would someone put out a video that may indeed be AI/fake when someone else admits they have a video of these girls coming home in this car and they know what color this car is? Why would somebody do something like that? What would be the purpose? And you can tell in some of the video, I mean, you don't have to be an expert. It looks like it's been tampered with or edited or changed in some form or fashion. I believe it's real. I just feel it's altered. That is the best way to sum it up. The best way to sum this up is right here. Great comment, Anonymous Reckoning. Not only, Critic Rick says, not only, but the spots run across the video is an old vintage filter. No digital video would have any line or spots on the recording footage. It's hilarious. Yeah, you know what? This was released by who? There's no chain of custody that says this was released by X, Y, and Z. It just gets rolled out on social media and everybody's up in a roar, and we still don't know where this video appeared from. And if you were here this morning, you would know that perhaps this may be some type of agency or collective that are sharing these things like this to make us believe in the narrative that, you know, they got in an Uber and Brian Kohberger is guilty. Period. You don't see if anybody gets in the car with them. I think it was just them two. Maddie was supposed to be in the back eating her food, and Kaylee was in the front. Yeah, the collective is to blame, Les. Why is a great question, Living Dead Girl, Christy. Why is it altered? If it is, why is it? What was this purpose of showing us this Uber ride home that was off duty? Yes, off duty per Moscow Police Department. And what was the MPD number? The page was 348. And I will get you there. And let's take a look at that 348. Here it is. Let me show you this. 348 MPD says period. Bam. Let's go. All right. Here it is. So Lawrence Mowry wrote this report on 11/19/22. He wanted to know about Kaylee's Uber. On November 18th, I logged into the Uber law enforcement portal. So yes, Uber has a portal for law enforcement agencies, federal agencies that are doing investigations to log in And special people have this login, and they log in and they get the documents they request. I submitted an preservation request for any local associated with the Uber driver named E.G. We all know that that's Eric Gower. It's been made public. It's very well known. And remember, we are not here to slander, defame, anyone of that nature. We are just reading the public documents that have been given to us and forming our own opinions, and you can form your own also. That is the freedom of speech that we have in our country still. Now, he says, with the phone number of redacted. Due to the nature of the investigation, Uber recommended an exigency request for the preservation. In a screenshot from AG, we all know that is Olivia Gonzalez, she shared that she had a video, they tracked down video saying that Kaylee and Maddie were dropped off by this private driver, which appeared to be from Gower's phone number, between Kaylee and himself. The name of the recipient is Kaylee Uber. So Kaylee had a private Uber. This guy would take her around privately, allegedly, okay? And when you wonder, why did she even have a private Uber? What was that all about? Now, I know that EG's wife works for Moscow. I've never found where she is a police officer. She works in the records department, but I've never found, allegedly, of course, I've never found where she is an actual cop. I don't think she, in my humble opinion, she is. But if she is, good for her. But Eric Gower was it is unknown if he was on duty with Uber at the time of him picking up Maddie and Kaylee. So he basically said, if the driver was on duty, this is what Uber told him, the inside, gurus. If the Uber driver was on duty, it would show the location of the vehicle. If the driver was not on duty, which basically in the next paragraph it says he was not on duty. So if you're not on duty, your car does not get tracked. Okay? And so it basically says that he was off duty, and at 1:15 he went off duty. It appears there's no other information that's found, and he goes off duty then. The records were attached to the case file. No warrant was requested or returned, as Uber provided the data via the exigent request. And this is the same one that was told in the ISP document that, yeah, he basically gives alcohol to the girls when he drives them around. Instead of like apple juice or orange juice, he gives them alcohol. Say what? Yes, folks. It was in a document that he gives them alcohol. Airplane.
Watch the sparks ignite. 10 seconds of real. Light up the night. Phoenix rise. I'm dropping truth like a flame. Burning through the lies. Never playing the same. Fireball.
Okay, so yes, true in fact. I don't know what they were fireballs, but if you haven't heard that one, that is a fireball. A witness did say that he likes to give girls rides. When giving them rides home, he gives them alcohol. Okay, gotcha. I wonder if he's still in Uber today. I don't know. So, what document was that? Let me see which document it was, and let me turn this off real quick. Wild and crazy bunch of people in Moscow. Let's just take a look. Surprise, surprise. Oh, which one? Off-duty Uber. Here we go. I got to pull up another document. He gives ride. Yeah, that's what it is. He gives free rides and alcohol to already drunk girls. I think we reviewed that one. It is an under alcohol. Yeah, it might be. Gives a whole new. It wasn't a report. We went over that. Is it giving alcohol to minors a crime? Possibly. Depends on who's doing the crime, allegedly. You know, think about it. Some people get in trouble. Some people don't because they have some type of special connection where they can get away with it, right? I mean, think about it. If it was me, I would probably be locked up. If it was you, you would probably be locked up. But because it's some guy who graduated from the University of Idaho and he has a connection and he runs a program with the reservation locally, he gets special treatment. Yes, y'all, you heard that. Special treatment. Okay, so let me pull up that document because I know that I do have it. And there is another topic I want to talk about. Give me 1 second because I'm going to pull that bad boy up. You guys are going to be like, what? What the what? All right. So ISP docs. Let me see what I got here. Redacted reports. Here we go. Who was the one that was giving Uber rides? I spoke with the Uber driver. Okay. I spoke with blank, the Uber driver, who told her he was pretty sure he had taken Mogan and home that night. Okay. And this is the document of a witness. Let me see whose witness this is. On the 18th, they interviewed her and her father was present. This is a individual that is 21 and a female. And they interviewed this individual in Meridian. Don't know who that was in Meridian, but I can only guess it's probably one of either Jack's friends or Dylan's friends, because that is the area they were from. And on 7, right here, bingo, bango. And this is why I know that that AI video allegedly had been altered or tampered with. She spoke with blank, the Uber driver, who told her he was pretty sure he had taken Mogan and Gonsalves home that night. Blank drove a smaller gray sedan. Now, does this look like a gray sedan to you? Some people say silver, some people said gray. I can understand the interchanging the gray with the silver, but that does not look gray or silver to me. That definitely looks like something was perhaps allegedly altered. So, if that is in fact the girls walking away from the grub truck, yeah, that's a blue Prius. But in the witness, in Meridian, said she spoke with blank. She talked to the Uber driver. Was this another rider? Was this another rider of his in the Uber driver that she spoke with Eric Gower and said, hey, did you take them home that night? Yeah, I took them home that night. And she had told the ISP that he drove a smaller gray sedan. Interesting. So I don't think that, in my humble opinion, is his vehicle. But unless somebody has altered this, then it is him. If they altered it. If. Okay. Here is another witness right here. Different ISP document that says right here, Blank and his girlfriend Blank were at his house Saturday. When the victim went to the victim's house around 10, approximately 10:45, Blank, Goncalves, and Mogan got a ride to the Corner Club located at 202 North Main in Moscow. Blank believed they got a ride from an Uber driver named Redacted. Is that big enough for the word Eric? Ericerik, however he spells his name. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, possibly. And I believe he refused to give his DNA. I believe. Allegedly. I'll have to go back and review that again. It's been a long time since we went through these documents. But according to my notes, I believe that he may have refused to give his DNA. All right? He wasn't the only one. There were others that refused. So, was this his vehicle or not? One of those things that we may never know the truth. I mean, what do you think? He went missing after the crime? Total sussiness, says critic Rick. Yep. I believe she does work for the LA department. She does work in some type of capacity. He went missing. Where did he go? Does anybody know where he went? Yep, he refused to let him search the phone. Eric Gower could have sworn it said it was a blue Prius. Did he have another small car? I seen way too many Prius police chases. Critic Rick, you are on fire. That's hilarious. Too funny. Absolutely too funny. That is too funny. What are your thoughts about this? It's screaming red flags. I think they got a divorce. I think he has a blue Prius and said that night they were picked up in a silver car. Yeah, silver. If his wife just got divorced, hearing about the mini alcohols and free drivers, that's not a reason to get divorced, but I'm sure they had probably some other issues. Could have shown Olivia said the car was silver or white. My wife was home pregnant and he was complaining about yep, he was. Right. And allegedly, Kaylee was in the front seat that night. Allegedly. Okay, so we got the fact that he might be sussy. Oh, he went on vacation. Well, I wonder where he went on vacation to. I don't listen to Olivia. She can't open her eyes. That is more than one person. I agree. They are pretty blind to the truth. Screams red flags, sus behavior. I would agree. It's serious. Yeah. Yvonne says, I'm serious. Critic Rick, love it. Well, to be fair, I don't think people in Moscow would think anything is sus or red flags, maybe because this is the way there. Complete sussiness in a whole town of people grow numb to sus stuff. Like, if they see it all the time, it's more likely believable or not believable, right? So I'm just wondering if this was like a common thing, right? It's sad. It's terrible. So I'm looking for a document real quick. She stated, whatever happened, because speaking of drunk girls, I know that they said Kernodle, Xana, was not that drunk that night, but yet Dylan was drunk. She admitted it herself. She didn't know if she was really drunk or whatever. But I'm looking for the document where it said, hold on a minute. No, it's not under that. Got a ride from a sober buddy. The movie theater, ride back to the apartment. I wonder how far Eric Gower drove while being a Uber. Did he drive into Pullman and Moscow? Was it just to Moscow? Was it in the general area? Because I know they're not too far apart from each other. So, was he driving in other places? I'm not saying that, like, he did this. I'm just asking, like, the background. Says Cow, Idaho. That's good. Amanda, I agree with you. Yeah, Amanda, a lot of people do agree with you. After the interview that I watched last night and we reviewed it this morning, just a little bit of it, I believe, her parents don't want to know the truth, no matter how many times that we've read the documents and we share the documents, and they see our videos. I mean, they know. They listen in, they watch, they know that we're talking about it. So, I mean, that's why I thought it was so important to make sure that we share the facts. Absolutely share the facts. He was off the clock. He was off the clock. Definitely, he was off the clock. It was off duty when the information came back to the Moscow Police Department, like I said earlier. And the crazy thing is if you know that someone is driving around off the clock and considered a private driver, doesn't it go against the policy of Uber? I mean, how many really creepy Uber stories are out there, right? I mean, how many Uber stories do you hear out there? I mean, I saw a video the other day but there's another one that I saw that was just, I mean, let's watch it. I want to watch this since we're on this topic. Let's watch it. It's going to be interesting.
Only to realize your passenger has been dead for months.
These are 4
Imagine getting into an Uber at midnight,
stories.
only to realize your passenger has been dead for months. Or worse, you're being driven by someone who isn't really an Uber driver at all. Tonight, I'm sharing 4 terrifying true Uber stories that will make you check your backseat every single time. These aren't fiction. These are real encounters, from real people who barely escaped with their lives. If you're new to Mysterious Clicks, hit that subscribe button right now, because we bring you the most bone-chilling true horror stories every week. And if you're already part of the family, drop a comment with your scariest ride experience. Let's dive into these 4 stories that prove sometimes the real monster isn't hiding in the dark, it's sitting right behind you.
My name's Marcus. I'm 28, and I used to manage a bookstore before it closed down in 2020. I started driving for Uber to pay my student loans, and most nights were fine. Interesting people, decent tips, nothing unusual. But one Friday night in late October changed everything. Some rides you never forget, and some mysteries you wish you'd never encountered. It was a Friday night in late October, a little after midnight. The air had that crisp autumn chill that makes you pull your jacket tighter. And the streets were mostly empty, except for the occasional car passing by. I had just dropped off a passenger at a hotel near the outskirts of town when my app pinged with a new request. The pickup location was about 6 minutes away, in front of a bowling alley that was part of a strip mall. Nothing unusual about that. I'd picked up people from there before. The name on the ride said, Derek. I accepted it without thinking twice, and started heading over, my car's heater barely working against the cold, the worn steering wheel familiar.
You can tell. I'm about to make myself laugh. You can tell that this is totally AI. But the point I want to make is there are Uber stories out there galore. You don't have to watch this one, but if you go and search Uber stories, you are going to get a boatload of stories. There are actually real, true stories. Okay. I mean, I did a little bit of research on this topic, and just a few days ago in the headlines, and this is a true story, okay? I was in Charlotte and I had to catch a flight, Charlotte, North Carolina. I had to catch a flight, and it was early in the morning, like dark 30 in the morning. And I was scared as heck to get in the car at 3 a.m. and go to the airport alone. Scary as heck, okay? But let me tell you, just a couple of days ago, an ex-Olympic hopeful allegedly stabbed an Uber driver, dumped his body because she felt cooped up. It always, I mean, you always think of the Uber driver being really creepy. What about the passenger? Okay? What about the passenger? Because it does happen. This ex-Olympic hopeful stabbed the Uber driver, dumped his body because she felt cooped up. This is the writer, okay? She's accused of fatally plunging a butcher knife into the 38-year-old rideshare. And then she stole his car and wallet. Now, I don't know what makes someone do something like that, but I'm telling you, there are a couple of different types of people that do things like this. It's absolutely astounding. So it's not just the driver. Sometimes it can be the rider. All right? There are stories galore out there. But what would make, just think about this for a minute, entice me. What would make a grown man, a college who just a college, professional, graduate, what would make him want to drive college kids around campus, especially late at night drunk kids? Why? When he could get a job, so he maybe what would be the motivation as a man? And I'll tell you another true experience. When I lived overseas in Japan on base, I was actually a taxi cab driver. And I'm telling you, there is protocols. There was, certain things we had to do, check in. All the guy cab drivers looked out for me. And it was only because I needed some extra money for Christmas. And it was only going to be for a month. And that's all I did. I made like easy money. I was 21. I was young, semi-attractive, It was very easy money. I mean, I would get $20 tips, $50 tips a night just for driving drunk sailors around. That doesn't make me a pervert, right? But why would someone, maybe because he was having a baby, they needed extra money? Or, I mean, he had like 3 or 4 other opportunities for side gigs. Why would it be for drunk girls? And not only drunk girls on duty, but how about, off duty? I mean, he got off duty at 1:15, so he had to have some tipsy girls driving him around even before they take him to the bar. and he only gave free rides to females. Oh, we are so cooked. We, we are cooked on this topic. I don't get it. I don't get it. That was like this morning's topic, right? I mean, it's crazy. Who did he know? Did someone put in a good word, or, take only certain people? I don't know. But again, Olivia is the one that called him a private driver. And Kaylee had his number in her phone. That was an admission from her sister. That was an admission in the police reports because of the fact that Olivia told the PD, and they probably wanted to see some backup, evidence, something in writing. And it says the name of the recipient is Kaylee Uber in her phone right there. Bam. So Olivia found it. Why didn't the police go and try to get some more information? I mean, he typically and honestly was the last person to see them alive, the Uber driver, other than Dylan and Bethany. Think about it. If an Uber driver took you home and within, say, an hour or two, you were deceased, they would be all over your tail. All over. We don't know, Anonymous, because they never give the rest of the story. Ever. Was he a friend of the family, and how did he know them then? Two totally different backgrounds. How do we know he was like family to the G's? Just like Jack DeCour was, because they let him use their car? Interesting. I mean, you all have great minds. Great minds are looking at this wondering, wow. What does this mean, Lori? It sounds like you didn't want to grow up and he's a perv. I don't know what you meant. Caleb, men don't think with their brains. Well, they do say that, tipsy, drunk people do tell stories, and some of it could be the truth, and they let things slip when they're tipsy or drunk. So maybe he was driving around to find some information out. Who knows? That could be a possible. Everybody rides for free to the G's. Everybody are friends to the G's. Everybody. Well, if you think about it, if you've been in a situation where you've been married and you're with child, pregnant, and it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. And maybe I'm just going to be blatant that maybe you're pregnant and you don't want to put out. Maybe you're not in the mood. Maybe it's hormones. Men need things, right? And if he's not getting it at home, is he looking for it somewhere else? Why would he have Kaylee's number in his phone? Right? We keep looking at Hoodie Guy and we keep thinking he did this, right? Everyone kept saying, oh my God, he's guilty. It's a Hoodie Guy. It's Hoodie Guy. Well, we didn't know if he was for sure until some of these documents came out. And now we're scratching our heads thinking, holy crud, what does this mean? What does this mean? The DNA profiles obtained from items 38 and 39 previously obtained from the known reference sample of blank redacted. This DNA profile is at least 80.4 nanonillion. Nanonillion. Does anyone know what nanonillion actually is? A nonillion. What is nonillion? How much is a no million? How much is a no million? Here, I'm going to show you what it is. You guys are going to flip. Okay. It says, let me reread it to you. I'm going to put this up here. There it is. Okay, that means a lot. In Phoenix math, that means too much. Okay? 0 million. This is a non-million. All right, so let's reread this once again. It says, the DNA profile is at least 80, that means 80 of those, 8.04 times 10 to the 31 power, times more likely to be seen if John Showalter, that is Jack Showalter, aka Hoodie Guy, is the source than if an unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population is the source. That's a lot of zeros. That's a lot of zeros. And now you're probably going to say, well, what was item 38 and what was item 39? Well, we can look at the documents and we can kind of see what those two items were. 38 and 39 were swabs that were submitted. Item 264 and item 39 was 261 from the scene. Bingo, bango, back to back right there. And then you have to go over to MPD and look at item 264. So let me go 264. And item 264 was a blood swab. Now, does it say where the blood swab came from? Let's read the document because this is the search warrant for blankety blank Queen Road Apartments. Okay? Blood swab in the apartment. So, Brett Payne writes a search warrant, is granted, goes down there and collects the evidence. Okay? So, he goes to the residence of J.S., John Showalter. The warrant was based off the following information. Blank and I responded to blank Queen Road approximately at 11 a.m. on 10 o'clock a.m. at 11:15. That was November 15th. We observed the exterior door, the area around the door, numerous spots of dried fluid which appeared to be rust drops from a metal roof of the apartment door. These drops were mainly on the wall next to the door frame, not on the frame itself. I observed what appeared to be a different fluid spot on the door, approximately 8 inches up from the bottom of the door under the doorknob. I noticed the deadbolt plating was clean, polished silver, and had no dirt on it. I walked away from the door in order to conduct an interview with a possible witness. Yada, yada, yada. Took Detective Hugh Powell, walked back to 500 Queen Road, went, did all this and got the blood swabs. Okay? It's basically what all this means. He got the blood swabs. It appeared to be dried blood. Okay? There was a smudge of what appeared to be dry blood on the toilet flusher handle and some splatter of dry blood near a light switch on the interior wall of the bathroom. And he said it appeared to be reddish brown. I've seen dried blood before. That's what it looks like. They got the warrant. They went in and they got the swabs. So you mean to tell me that John Showalter is more likely to be his blood DNA from these swabs all over the place.
All spit heat, watch the sparks ignite. 10 seconds of real, light up the night. Phoenix rise, I'm dropping truth like a flame. Burning through the lies, never playing the same. Fire.
Okay. Did you guys get that? I hope you all got that. I hope you all got that, because I will tell you. You mean to tell me that John Showalter cut himself or shaved or allegedly did something, and now his DNA, his blood splatter, is in his own apartment all over the place? Please tell me that has got to be a joke, right? That has to be some type of sick joke. Because this is his own DNA in his own apartment, which he lives in, and it's splattered. Please, someone make this make sense. Just like the jacket that allegedly everyone said was Dylan's, that was sprayed accidentally or intentionally or oopsie daisy, who knows, with Blue Star, a chemical that could change the outcome of testing, but not the testing for DNA. Not the testing for DNA. But can you please tell me and explain to me how somebody did an oopsie there too? What do you think of that? So, did he cut himself? Did he accidentally do this? What are your thoughts about this one? Now, I'm going to show you real quick. Yeah, the fridge broke. How convenient. The fridge broke. Now, you don't tell me in these two instances where they find this jacket, don't care whose jacket it is, they find this jacket and it was accidentally sprayed with Blue Star. And then we have this that's saying, yeah, this is John Showalter. He's more likely to be his blood in the swabs from his own apartment. That's what this is saying. That's what this is saying. Okay? So, how could this be possible? Remember the jacket that we talked about that tested negative for any of the red stuff, the blood, even though you can see that this looks like some type of stain or something. But remember, this jacket had been sprayed with Blue Star before it was tested by the ISP. It was tested by some detective, Talbot, I believe. I've got the email. And a whoopsie daisy, yet again, they made a boo-boo. And we can't tell you if it was presumptive positive, but I will say we put something on it that now you won't find the red stuff. Okay, got it. So let me show you exactly what this detective may have done. This is what Blue Star is.
So we're going to look at how to find blood stains after they've been cleaned up. So I have some blood here, and I'm going to...
Now, I hope you guys heard what he just said. This is how you find blood stains after it's been cleaned up. Okay? Even if this jacket was washed before they sprayed it accidentally, whoops. Here is what
So
he's
we're going to
saying.
look at how to find blood stains after they've been cleaned up. So I have some blood here, and I'm going to do some bloodletting on my carpet, and I'm going to rub that in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean our blood stain. I'm going to mix the blue Star with 4 ounces of water. Blue Star comes with 2 pills. I'm going to put 1 of each and mix those up. I have it all mixed up. Now we're just going to spray our stain with our Blue Star. Let's turn the lights off and see what we find. The Blue Star interacts with the blood, causing the chemical luminescence, and that's how we find blood at crime scenes. So we're going to look at how to find blood stains after they've been cleaned up. So I have
So you get the idea. I wanted you to see how that was done, or maybe possibly done on a jacket. So even if it had been washed, Blue Star would still show if it was positive. Okay? But the detective sprayed it on there without realizing. Now, I don't know why they would do something like this. I don't know who trained the individual. But if you spray it all over where you think there's blood, why would he spray the entire jacket? Why would somebody spray the entire evidence, the entire jacket? And it did show presumped positive when Blue Star was put on the jacket. But by the time it got to the ISP, what happened? There was an email back and forth saying, sorry, something happened and we might not be able to pull the results, but we can get you possibly DNA results, because Blue Star doesn't interfere with DNA, guys. Nope, it doesn't. Doesn't interfere. But I kept thinking, why would this happen? What a coincidence. What a coinky-dink, right? First you have Jack, which they called him Showalter. And by the way, that is his real name, John Showalter. I think some people out there called him Jack and made everybody believe they were 2 separate individuals, and they're not. It's the same person. Same exact person. But when you look at this and you think, why would 2 separate possible answers to this case not come to a definitive conclusion? They got training for $19.99 and a coupon off 10%, same day certification. We don't know, maybe a Cracker Jack box certification. I don't know. In my humble opinion, I think someone was covering up some stuff. What stuff? I don't know. Remember, because Ann Taylor wanted this tested third party. Oops, I sprayed some items and I didn't even get my hand slapped. Right? All right. Yeah, it looked like on the jacket, it looked like some molding had taken place. Was it food? I don't know. But in this document, it said that it was presumped positive. Detective Talbot admits it was presumped positive when he sprayed it. Okay? When he sprayed it. And he admitted in the email when he sprayed it, it was presumped positive. But when it got to the testing, couldn't find anything. Perhaps something on the zipper, but nothing else was blood. Nothing else. Okay. So now that we covered that, that was the second whoopsie daisy in these reports that we have actually read. See, you can't just look at something and not read the actual history and document. Now, we went over the blanket. The blanket did test positive, and yet again, it tested positive for Dylan's own DNA. So Jack S. and Dylan's own DNA is on the blanket and smeared all over his apartment, but never thought to clean up his own blood. Okie dokie, Smokey. I'll take that one for 300, Alex. Okay, so here is the actual back and forth on this. Oops, I sprayed blue star on these. On 6/8/2023, Detective Talbot has a conversation, and he basically says that the defense requested items to be sent to a private lab. He pulled the request items and sprayed them with blue star. 2 items, the coat and the blanket, both from blank, had a positive reaction. They tested positive. So they knew there was blood on these items. They knew it. Then they say, we're going to go ahead and have those being submitted for testing. Why would they even do that? Hey, just as a reminder, guys, right now, please hit that like button. Thumbs up. We appreciate it so much, every single one of you. So then I was asked to request an examination and he stated for foreign DNA. Foreign DNA. That means DNA that doesn't belong to the individual. Foreign DNA. I expressed application of blue star on these types of items were not the ideal first step, and I would need to speak with my DNA unit prior to submission to see what can still be done on these items. Whoops! Then we got to call Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings. They had to call and discuss the blanket and the coat from blank. I've asked for clarification on what was needed on these items to discuss the limitations given they were previously sprayed with blue star. Holy crap, we messed up. Per Bill, these items identified by the defense expert Matt Nodal during his crime scene examination. The defense provided a list of these items they wanted sent to the lab and their office, and D2 investigations discussed and decided it would be beneficial for Detective Talbot to first examine the items to do a presumptive test. Now, why in the world do you think that they had him do the presumptive test? Why in the world would they have him do it when in fact the defense wanted them secured for testing third party ASAP? It's like they preempted them and said, nope, you're not getting any evidence. We're going to test it. Brian Kohberger is guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. And then almost a year later, they say, almost 2 years, they say, nope, we can't even put him at the scene of the crime. We can't get him in that house. We can't find any DNA on him, not in his car, apartment, his office, nowhere. Not even in the house. Knock that damn house down now. Hurry it up. What are we waiting for? Knock it down. Bury it. Bury all that evidence. Spray Blue Star all over the place and bury it. It's a chemical hazard. Think about it, guys. This is how lives get ruined. They destroyed evidence one after the other. One after the other, in my humble opinion. Then he goes back to say, I stated we're limited in what we can do now. Blue Star is a chemical designed for use in crime scene after all other testing is done. Whoops. I blew that one. There goes my future career. Right? Shoot. Now I got to call. And now we got to make an admission that, not only did we screw this up, but they're going to find out once these documents have been released to the public. We know that some little YouTube or crime channel out there, somebody out there is going to give them the truth. Now we're in big trouble. Someone's from the DOJ is going to come and take a look at us now. Dang it. Y'all messed up. Darn it. We're not going to be able to get out of this one now. Blue Star is a chemical designed for use in crime scene after all other testing is done. I stated it has poor specificity for blood, so it is not typically used in lab as a presumptive test. Studies have shown Blue Star does inhibit presumptive blood tests performed in a lab like pheno and OTOL. We can examine for blood, but it is likely any stains we will test will be negative, and there's no way to determine at this point if there's blood on the item. So make sure you spray that whole jacket down. Don't leave any spot untouched. Spray that whole dang jacket down, inside and out. Make sure you do that. Okay, I'm just saying, hypothetically, in my humble opinion, make sure you get it all. Not just test a little tiny spot. Okay? Now, but they do have an out. And what is the out? The out is, even though it is not going to be available for blood, it might be available to produce a full DNA profile. Maybe. They're not sure. They're going to have to get back with their experts. Then they call and they ask the questions, and they basically give the answers. Okay, and listen to this. Blank called to ask if we had any questions or needed anything additional at this time. I said, I talked to Bill and Ashley this morning to discuss the limitation we have given these items that have been processed with Blue Star, and I have some questions for them. I asked the detective Talbot, and listed are his responses. Were photos taken of the items prior to Blue Star application? Not unsure if Moscow did that. No, unsure if Moscow did that. Okay, check. Were photos taken of Blue Star reaction? Yes, but they didn't turn out. Check. Were gloves and masks worn while handling these items? Yes. Was examination service sprayed with bleach and clean paper placed and changed between items? Yes. Were the areas of the fluorescent circled? Blanket? Yes. Coat was zipper, could be reacting with the metal. Okay. Was a sterile or single-use marker used to mark on the item? Yes. Were both sides of the blanket sprayed? Yes. Both sides, folks. Was the inside and the outside of the coat sprayed? Yes. They stated these items were ones that were deemed personal items and released back to blank. The court then ordered they get all the items from the crime scene that had been released back into custody. I asked if blank had washed the items while they were back in custody. They said they did not know. Interesting. Yeah. How convenient was this? Very convenient. So where do we go from here? Is there more to these documents? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is how things are they just vanish without a trace, with no real reports, with no real conclusions. This is how this happens. Remember this and remember this. This beginning of the story tells the story. This tells the story that everybody wants to know. And I'm sure there's more to this story. I did ask the Moscow Police Department for this report, M811. I did get a response, and they told me it was covered under privacy. That is the JK involved report, M811. Whatever happened to Maddie's coat? Don't know. Was it on the ground? We can speculate, yes. The one that the MPD threw back on the ground? Are you kidding me? Do you really think that they were going to collect that for evidence to learn the truth of what happened to these kids? They threw it back on the ground just like they destroyed the house. Just like they destroyed the house. They made it disappear. They didn't collect it in evidence, just like perhaps they didn't collect the underwear in the street that not only Jeremy, a witness, saw walking his dog, but also Molly McMichaels. She commented in her video, and we'll talk about that next. Thank you, every single one of you, for tuning in, to listening in, to see the evidence. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot more to talk about once this hearing happens on Thursday. Join me back here tomorrow at 11 o'clock. That is the only time I will be going live tomorrow, at 11 o'clock. I look forward to seeing every single one of you. And do me a favor, hit that thumbs up if you haven't, and share this video with at least one individual that you know. If you share this with one, they will begin sharing, and the truth will get out there, because we already know what Ann Taylor said.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Y'all have a great night and be well. Enjoy the music. Until tomorrow.
Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation. In a world of facades, we peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. Case by case, we break the case.